Hello YouTube, Pilot Wannabe here. We're on the ground in Bella Bella, Campbell Island, British Columbia, where we arrived from our last flight from Bella Coola, British Columbia. So today's flight, we're on our way to Tipella, which is an interesting Orbx airport tucked away in the mountains on the corner of a lake, I believe. And we're going to go check it out. All right, so with that being said, let's hurry up and pre-flight this aircraft and get going. And we are back in the cockpit. All right, so let's get rid of that. Let's bring up our checklists. And upon entering the cabin, we just did all this stuff already. And we're ready to start this sucker. Now this can be a little tricky to start sometimes, easy to flood. All of that stuff is modeled. So we're going to crack it open a little bit. Full on the props. Mixture is out. And the engine is cold. Give it the fuel pump. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And back out. We're going to shout a clear prop. Clear prop! Out the window. And hopefully she'll turn over and start for us. And we have ignition, Houston. Nice. Okay. Now let's lean that out a little bit. Let's get it up to 1,000 RPM. And we're going to lean so as to not foul our plugs. Okay, and so the engine is started. Check the oil pressure and temperature. Pressure is up. Vacuum looks barely in the green, and amps are good. They're in the positive area. And avionics on, and the radios, and up with the flaps. Now the local time here in Bella Bella is 1932, so we've got a few hours of light left, which is good, and maybe we can pull off this flight before it's totally and completely dark. Should be about 2 hours. Okay. Oh yes.
System test okay.
Let's look for the flight plan. And all right, so let's go with this flight plan here. I believe it's YTZ. Enter. Yes. Oh, maybe it's not that. Maybe it's YZT. Port Hardy, yes. Okay. Right. Let's see if we can add an airway. I have no idea what it is. wonder, to get this flight plan in here. Okay, YCT, Powell, and LD and GAR. Powell, LD and GAR. Okay. Let's see, aircraft, kneeboard, navlog. There we go. Okay. So I have no idea what the airway is, so we're not going to do that. And so insert after, and it is Powell, Papa, Oscar, Whiskey, Oscar, Lima, and then LD, Echo, Lima, India, Delta, India, then GAR, then Tipella, which is Charlie Bravo Bravo 7. Okay, that should be it. Let's see how that looks. I like it. Now let's try to get some ATIS here. Nearest airport. Is there anything with a tower? Doesn't seem that way. Nope, that won't do it. You know what? We don't need it. We will do this. Waypoint information. We're at 141 feet. Okay, so 120 and 41 feet. And that looks like it is 3005, maybe? So, and then we'll hit B. It is 3004. Okay. So we are going to be looking for about 11,000 feet. Okay. And what else? Let's see which way the wind is. It looks like it's going to be a crosswind. So we're going to take runway 13. That's what we are going to do. Set course to 143. Okay. So setting course to 130, 140. That looks like about 143. And we are going to set the heading bug to 130. That should do it. Okay, and let's see, we need some landing lights. Let's put the pitot heat back on. And engines are almost there. Okay, so we will move to a run-up area, and hopefully the engine shall be warmed up by that time. brake set. Let's get rid of that. Mixture full. And cow flaps are open. And we're going to bring it up to 1800 RPM. Okay, mags are good. And we're going to exercise the prop gently. Get some nice warm hydraulic fluid into that gearbox. Okay, and to idle. And the engine doesn't stall out on us, and that's good. Okay, check the engine vacuum and ammeter. Temperature, pressure, vacuum, ammeter, all looks good. Trim is set for takeoff. Wing flaps. We're going to go to 10%. Nope. 10%. Let's see, let's get rid of that bar. Okay, and I think we are ready to go on our before takeoff. Alright, this stuff is pretty straightforward. Lift the nose between 50 and 60, climb at 80, then retract the wing flaps. Okay. Alright. Parking brake released. And let's check our wind just to make sure. It's going to be interesting. It's only 3 knots. Even be a tailwind, 3 knots. Okay, we're going to get her moving there. We're going to do a rolling takeoff from here. I forgot the landing lights because it's not in the checklist. Been overly dependent upon those. Okay, and away we go. Tipella, here we come. Okay, there's 50 knots, 60 knots. There we go. Alright, come on, settle down. There we go. And we are climbing. And we're going to reduce the prop to 2400. Try to stay on course, runway heading. And we're going to bring back the power to 23 inches of mercury, or thereabouts. Okay. And we are clearly 400 feet above field elevation. Up with the flaps. Okay, a little sensitive there. Still maintaining 80. Let's trim it out. Okay. And she's stable. And we are going to bring on the autopilot. And how do we do that? Arm, and then vertical speed. There we go. And then I think we can hit heading hold, bring it around, and engage nav. Okay. There we go. Close that up, a little noisy. All right. We're snug as a bug in a rug. And climbing on course for Tipella. Okay. Now let's go for a more aggressive climb, so we can handle it. And we are going to keep an eye on our manifold pressure. And as we climb, we're going to lose manifold pressure. We're going to have to feed in more power. And our airspeed. Okay. All right. Looks like we're pitching up significantly there. And the speed is coming down. Maybe that's too much. Go. Still too much of a climb. Our speed was dropping. It's too low. See what this is for the climb. Airspeed 85 to 95 knots. Not quite there yet, so let's 500 feet a minute. Should be able to climb better than that. Maybe with the nose lowered it will speed up, and then we'll be able to climb well again. Okay, we are speeding up. Let's increase our rate slightly. Slightly some more. Slightly some more. Okay, we're holding steady at 100 now. We could feed it in a little bit more. Alright, let's lean a little bit. Let's get these cowl flaps closed halfway. And the cylinder head temperature should be rising into a comfortable range. Airspeed dropping slightly to about 95. It's all good. Okay. Alright, so when our airspeed dips below 80, we'll reduce our climb rate. Maybe we should do that now. Power is falling off. Manifold pressure. Let's feed some more power back in. So we'll be holding steady at 85 for now. Let's feed in a little bit more power. It's looking good so far. Looking forward to look out the window, enjoy the view, and it is fantastic. Pacific Northwest, scenery from Orbx, and lovely British Columbia. Okay, just to get some perspective. That's the former Queen Charlotte Islands and Vancouver Island. And all that red is all mountainous territory that is higher than we are. And we're only at 5,600 feet right now. Okay. Speed is still doing fine at about 85. RPM 2400. Fuel flow 15 gallons per hour, and manifold pressure has fallen slightly. Feed in a little bit more power. and we're at 6,000, more than halfway to our cruising speed of 11,000. Okay, so let us take off our taxi light. Probably leave our landing light on while we are climbing. Apparently it is nice in the cabin and steady. So let's go outside and take a look. I think we can afford it. Back into the cockpit. Our speed has fallen slightly, and so is the manifold pressure. Let's feed in a little bit more power. Perhaps we can lower our rate of climb just a tad. And our airspeed has climbed slightly. Alright, so it looks like a lovely day for flying. The clouds, such as they are, don't seem to be the kind that pack moisture, but we're going to try to do our best to avoid them in any case. So I don't know when sunset is around here, but this flight should take about 2 hours 10 minutes, and it's been 22 minutes since we started the engine, so I think we're about 10 minutes into the flight. 2 hours to go. Okay, so the throttle is completely open now. Quite have 23 inches of mercury anymore, but that's the best we're going to get. The throttle is wide open. We could continue to lean the engine some more and get some better performance. And let's close the cowl flaps just a little bit more. Get the engine running at a nice, warm, and comfy temperature for it. And the EGT is rising. I've got the needle to where it's usually maxed out into in the past for best performance. And our speed has climbed a little bit, so that's probably helped. Let's lean some more. Okay, coming up on 9,000 feet, 2,000 to go. Temperature 6 degrees outside. Okay. Well, at 11,000 feet, the air is going to be a little bit thin. But we've been working out lately, and our respiratory systems, our blood oxygen rate should be fantastic. I don't see that being a problem for us at this altitude for 2 hours. But once we get over some mountains, I think it won't be a problem. Let's see. Where are the mountains that are going to be a problem? I think they are right here in this area. That's what we're concerned about, and I think 10,000 should do it. If we go by the color bar here in the sectional chart that I consulted earlier, and another 1,000 for safety would put us at 11,000 feet. And our speed has dropped off ever so slightly. We're doing about 88 knots indicated. We can back off the mixture a little bit more. Cylinder head temperature's in a comfortable area. We are doing well. Just past 10,000 feet, 1,000 to go. Okay, we are now above the cloud deck. Shouldn't be an issue for the next 2 hours or so, or hour and 45 anyway. Alright, we're coming up on our cruise altitude of 11,000 feet, and our speed has dropped off. We're back off on the mixture just a little bit more, and our airspeed is rising as we level off. Alright, that's good. To back off on the mixture just a tad more. Okay, I think it's in a good spot. And it is just below freezing up here. And it is cool but warming slowly. Alright, that's good. And our speed is coming up. And we are at 11,000 feet, and it is about 0. So let's see. That's 11,000 feet at about 0. That means we're doing almost 140 knots. And we have a ground speed of 120, but a decent headwind of 17 knots. Okay. That's unfortunate, that headwind. Alright, so let us see. We've got the throttle wide open. Let's see what we can do. Some fuel economy going on. I'm going to back the power, the props off till we're about 2100. Should be taking a bigger bite of air, a coarser pitch, as they say, and the engine is turning slower as a consequence. That should save us some fuel. Let's see what our fuel burn is at. We're at about 9 gallons per hour. Can't get much better than that in this aircraft. And it is 9.3. Alright. And our true airspeed is about 143. It's not bad. That pesky headwind. Okay, so Let's see where we are here. Okay, so I think this is Port Hardy. Okay, Port Hardy it is. Let's see what we can do. Get some ATIS going on. That's not what I wanted to do. Nearest airport. Port Hardy. Let's see if they have anything for us. Nothing like that. Let's see what this would do for us. 1337. Probably not. I suppose we could ask for flight following. Acknowledge squawk code. Okay, 3000. I think that's it. And on the autopilot, 3000. Okay. And all seems well. Except, we seem to have lost some speed. Oh no. Well, just a little bit. It's probably because we have to climb to get back to 11,000. Okay, that makes sense. Isn't much out here, but trees and mountains and lots of water. Okay. All right. I think I can close this all the way now that we're in cruise. Everything's fine. So, I think we're in a good spot. And with that being said, I will see you on the other side if something interesting happens, or upon the descent into Tipella. But before I go, let us set that descent, or prepare for it anyway. Okay, so back, utilities, VCalc, and that's a good question. Let's say 5,000 feet. at GAR. It's an offset of 2 knot commands. Okay, begin descent in 1 hour 55 minutes. Okay, so barring anything crazy or interesting happening, I will see you on the other side in about 1 hour 55. All right, see you then. Okay, and we're back. Had a change of plans. I was checking on our destination and I noticed they have no lighting in Tipella, and with the sun setting, that culminated in a failure to plan ahead, which can be dangerous, very dangerous. So I've diverted to the closest airport with lighting, and it is Comox, BC, and that airport looks pretty good. Huh. Hadn't noticed that one. And Comox, our descent is about 4 or 5 minutes away. And let's see what that airport is. An indication there. Let's go to nearest airport, Campbell River. And let's see. It's got some procedures. Hard surface. Doesn't say anything about lighting, which is why I chose Comox. But clearly, it is a lit airport. Well, we're going to continue on to Comox, and we're awaiting our message to descend, and that is in approximately 2 minutes. And approaching vertical profile, start descent. Okay. Okay, pitch power and trim. Right, so let's go for 4,000 and a vertical speed of 1,500. And ease off that power. Speed is climbing, still climbing, backing off the power. 1,500 is a healthy descent. Okay. I think we're doing okay. And let's look at procedures. I think it was runway 30 they said. So let's see if they don't have it here. So let's see if we can delete the flight plan. Add waypoint for Charlie Yankee Quebec. Just Comox, enter. And we're going to load a procedure. See if they got any arrivals. None available. Okay, so approach runway 30 with vertical guidance. And we'll load that. And our speed is still getting up there. It's not too dangerous just yet. I think that could be our runway. Okay, let's see what that looks like. And landing checklist, which is the gump check. Gas, undercarriage is welded as they say, mixture to full, and props to full. Okay, and should begin our descent. Any moment now. And it is. We are descending. Okay, let's put in the second notch of flaps. Okay, let's try to do this properly. We're going to pitch for speed and power for altitude. Okay, let's try to hold 70. Back off the power slightly.
500.
Okay. We are on profile. Okay. Let's just take a quick peek at what that wind is doing. 13 knots, basically a straight on headwind. Okay. Still at 70 knots, and we're on profile. Looking good. Try to reduce power ever so slightly. There's our middle marker. We're just under 70 knots. And we're off center line ever just a bit. Okay. There's our inner marker. Alright, we're going to let her come down, complete some speed. That's what they call a greaser. Okay. Let's pull the mixture out. Don't want to foul those props. Bring up our RPM slightly. And I think we shall take the next turn off. Parking brake is set, and we'll clean up the aircraft. Flaps up, landing lights off, strobe lights off, transponders to ground. You can probably set that to VFR now. And we would probably call ground for directions to parking. And let's just check it out on our own. Okay, so parking brake off, feed in a little bit power. So failure to plan got us in some trouble. There'd be no lighting at our destination, our intended destination. So we divert to Comox, a military base, without prior permission. And here we are. We expect to see some MPs once we exit our aircraft. And a night in detention at the very least, because I would have some explaining to do. Are there any civilian aircraft up ahead? Ah, looks like a few. Maybe a night in the break is not in my future. I thought I saw some aircraft over here of the GA variety. I did see a pussycat. I've lost the track. I think this is about it. Okay. Let's look outside and see how we did. Yeah, not so bad. Okay, so taxi lights. Those were the taxi lights off. Pitot heat off. Navigation lights off. Let's kill the radio stack. And avionics master. And mixture full out. Mags off. Beacon off. And let's turn our dash lights off. Okay, put that on for now. And mags are off, master, battery, and alternator are off. Huh, seems the lights got brighter. Okay, and let's get outside and put in our pitot cover, empty the plane, tie down some wheel chocks. And there we are. Arrived in Comox, an unscheduled landing. And Heidi's gone to use a restroom. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for joining us on our unscheduled and slightly eventful trip. We'll try to continue on to Tipella, assuming the MPs don't throw me in the break. All right. Pilot wannabe, still wanting to be a pilot and having to learn from these misadventures. And I will see you on the next leg. Ground speed is 142 knots, a little bit of a quartering tailwind.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
Okay, so we will go into heading
Terrain
mode.
ahead. Terrain ahead.
Divert slightly.
Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.
All right, let's go
terrain
manual.
Ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Terrain ahead.